What if I told you that everything you think you know about reality is wrong? I mean, really wrong. Like, so wrong it would make your high school physics teacher spontaneously combust. No, seriously. The universe is way weirder than you could possibly imagine. And today, on Top Thangs, we're diving deep into the rabbit hole of physics' most mind-bending theories. Theories that will challenge everything you thought you knew about existence itself. But before we break your brain, smash that subscribe button like a particle in the Large Hadron Collider, because knowledge is power, and power, well, you know the rest. Imagine you're playing a guitar. Feel the strings under your fingers, the vibrations resonating through the body of the instrument. Each string makes a different note when it vibrates, right? The sound waves travel through the air, creating music that we can hear and feel. Well, according to Superstring Theory, everything in the universe is made of tiny vibrating strings. These strings are the fundamental building blocks of all matter and energy. And I mean everything. You, me, that coffee you're drinking, even that one sock that disappeared in the laundry. Every object, every particle, every force in the universe is a manifestation of these vibrating strings. They're all just different notes played on these cosmic strings. Each string vibrates at its own frequency, creating the unique properties of everything we see around us. But wait, you might say, where are these strings? How come we can't see them with our eyes or even with the most powerful microscopes? Why can't we see them? It's a valid question, and the answer lies in their incredibly small size. Excellent question. These strings are so ridiculously small they make an atom look like the Death Star in comparison. Imagine the tiniest thing you can think of, and then go even smaller. We're talking about something roughly 10 to the minus 33 centimeters. That's a decimal point followed by 32 zeros and then a 1. It's almost impossible to fathom. To put that in perspective, if an atom were the size of our solar system, a string would be about the size of a tree. A very, very small tree. A very, very small tree. So small, in fact, that it would be invisible to the naked eye, and even to most scientific instruments. Now, these aren't just any ordinary strings. They have some extraordinary properties. They vibrate in different dimensions, creating the particles that make up everything we see and interact with. These vibrations determine the type of particle and its properties. Electrons, quarks, photons, they're all just different vibrational modes of these fundamental strings. Each particle is like a different note played on a cosmic instrument. Think of it like a cosmic symphony, with each string playing its own unique note, creating the music of the universe. The universe itself is a grand composition with each particle contributing to the overall harmony. Pretty cool, huh? It's like we're all part of this incredible universal orchestra, playing our own parts in the grand symphony of existence. But here's where things get even weirder. The theory doesn't stop at just vibrating strings. Superstring theory requires extra dimensions, not just the 3 spatial dimensions we experience plus time, but 6 or 7 more. These extra dimensions are necessary for the mathematics of the theory to work out. Where are these extra dimensions, you ask? Why don't we experience them in our everyday lives? Well, they're curled up, compactified like tiny little balls of dimensions. These extra dimensions are so small and tightly wound that we can't perceive them directly. So small we can't even perceive them. It's like they're hidden in plain sight, existing all around us but beyond our ability to detect. It's like looking at a garden hose from far away. From a distance it looks like a one-dimensional line, but up close you see it has a second dimension, curled up in a circle. These extra dimensions are similar, hidden within the fabric of our universe. Now I know what you're thinking. Neil, this sounds like some serious science fiction. And you're not wrong, it does sound like something out of a sci-fi novel. Superstring theory is still a theoretical framework, and we haven't yet found direct experimental evidence to confirm it. Scientists are working hard to find ways to test these ideas, but it's a powerful and elegant theory that could potentially unify all the fundamental forces of nature: gravity, electromagnetism, the strong and weak nuclear forces, into a single, elegant framework. If proven true, it would revolutionize our understanding of the universe and our place within it. Remember in The Matrix when Neo realizes reality isn't what it seems? That moment when he takes the red pill and suddenly, the world he thought he knew shatters into a million pieces? It's a mind-bending experience, right? M-theory is kind of like that. But instead of one fake reality, it suggests there are 11 dimensions. Yes, you heard that right. 11. Not just the 3 dimensions of space and one of time that we're familiar with, but 7 more dimensions that are so tiny and curled up that we can't even perceive them. Yes, you heard that right, 11. Imagine trying to wrap your head around that. We live in a three-dimensional world, plus time. But M-theory says there are 7 more dimensions curled up so tiny we can't perceive them. It's like trying to spot an ant from the International Space Station while blindfolded, and riding a unicycle while juggling chainsaws. It's almost impossible to fathom. It's like trying to spot an ant from the International Space Station while blindfolded, and riding a unicycle while juggling chainsaws. The complexity is mind-boggling, but that's the beauty of it. You get the picture. M-theory is actually a framework that attempts to unify the 5 different versions of superstring theory. Think of it as the ultimate theory of everything, the grand unified theory of, well, everything. It's like the holy grail of physics, the one theory to rule them all. M-theory is actually a framework that attempts to unify the 5 different versions of superstring theory. Think of it as the ultimate theory of everything, the grand unified theory of, well, everything. It's the physicist's dream, a single framework that can explain all the fundamental forces and particles in the universe. Now, these extra dimensions aren't just some mathematical trickery. They have real physical consequences. They affect how strings vibrate, which in turn affects the properties of the particles they create. These tiny vibrating strings are the building blocks of everything in the universe. They have real physical consequences. They affect how strings vibrate, which in turn affects the properties of the particles they create. One of the most mind-blowing predictions of M-theory is the existence of brains, short for membranes. They affect how strings vibrate, which in turn affects the properties of the particles they create. These vibrations determine the mass, charge, and other properties of particles, essentially shaping the very fabric of our reality. One of the most mind-blowing predictions of M-theory is the existence of brains, short for membranes. These are multidimensional objects that can exist in any number of dimensions, from 0-dimensional points to, well, 11-dimensional membranes. These are multidimensional objects that can exist in any number of dimensions, from 0-dimensional points to, well, 11-dimensional membranes. Our universe, according to M-theory, could be just one of many brains floating in a higher dimensional space. Our universe, according to M-theory, could be just one of many brains floating in a higher dimensional space. Imagine a loaf of bread, with each slice representing a different universe. We're just living on one slice, completely unaware of the other universes existing right next to us. Imagine a loaf of bread, with each slice representing a different universe. Each slice is a separate universe existing parallel to each other, but never interacting. We're just living on one slice, completely unaware of the other universes existing right next to us. We're just living on one slice, completely unaware of the other universes existing right next to us. Now, I know what you're thinking. Neil, this is getting a little too crazy even for me, and you might be right. But that's the nature of cutting-edge science. It's often stranger than fiction. Now I know what you're thinking. Neil, this is getting a little too crazy even for me, and you might be right. M-theory is still very much a work in progress, and we have a long way to go before we can fully understand its implications. But it's a fascinating and potentially revolutionary theory that could completely change our understanding of the universe. M-theory is still very much a work in progress, and we have a long way to go before we can fully understand its implications. Scientists around the world are working tirelessly, conducting experiments and developing new theories to test the predictions of M-theory. But it's a fascinating and potentially revolutionary theory that could completely change our understanding of the universe. If proven true, it could unlock secrets of the cosmos that we can't even begin to imagine. The journey to understanding M-theory is just beginning, and who knows what incredible discoveries await us in the future. Chapter 3. The Holographic Universe. Are we living in a simulation? See this hologram? Pretty cool, right? A 3-dimensional image projected from a 2-dimensional surface. It's a neat trick of light and technology, creating something that looks real, but isn't quite what it seems. According to some physicists, our entire universe might be just like it. A 3-dimensional projection of information stored on a 2-dimensional surface at the edge of the cosmos. Imagine the vastness of space, all the stars, planets, and galaxies being a mere projection. So you're telling me I'm just a hologram? Well, yes and no, it's not that simple. You're real, but the nature of your reality might be different from what you think. It's more like, remember that time you tried to explain to your grandparents how cloud storage works? They might have found it hard to grasp that their photos and documents are stored somewhere they can't see or touch. It's kind of like that, but way more complicated. The holographic principle is a concept that stretches our understanding of space, time, and information. The holographic principle suggests that all the information about our three-dimensional universe is encoded on a two-dimensional surface, like a cosmic hard drive. This means that everything we experience in 3 dimensions is actually a projection of data from a flat surface. Think of it like a movie projected onto a screen. The film reel contains all the information, but the movie we watch appears in 3 dimensions. The movie itself is 2-dimensional, but the image we see is 3-dimensional. It's an illusion created by the projection process. This idea might sound completely bonkers, but it has some surprising theoretical support. It's not just science fiction, it's a hypothesis grounded in serious scientific research. It arises from the study of black holes and their entropy, a measure of disorder. Black holes are mysterious and fascinating objects that challenge our understanding of physics. Black holes, as you know, are incredibly dense objects with such strong gravity that nothing, not even light, can escape. They warp space and time around them, creating a region from which there is no return. But they also have a finite amount of entropy, which is proportional to the surface area of their event horizon, the point of no return. This means that the information about everything that falls into a black hole is somehow encoded on its 2-dimensional surface. This suggests that the information about everything that falls into a black hole is somehow encoded on its 2-dimensional surface. It's like the black hole's event horizon is a storage device for all the data of the objects it consumes. And if this is true for black holes, some physicists believe it might be true for the entire universe as well. This could mean that our universe is a grand hologram with all the information encoded on a distant 2-dimensional boundary. Now, I know what you're thinking, Neil, my brain is starting to hurt. And that's perfectly understandable. This concept is incredibly abstract and challenges our everyday experiences. The holographic principle is a mind-bending concept that challenges our very notion of reality. It forces us to rethink what we know about the universe and our place in it. But it's a fascinating and potentially groundbreaking idea that could revolutionize our understanding of the universe. If proven true, it would change the way we perceive reality and our existence within it. The implications are profound, and the journey to uncover the truth is just beginning. Zoom out to cosmic scale. These theories might seem crazy, but remember, just 200 years ago, the idea of wireless communication would have seemed equally insane. I mean, sending messages through the air? Preposterous. The universe is not only stranger than we imagine, it's stranger than we imagine. And that, my friends, is what makes it so incredibly fascinating. If your mind isn't completely blown yet, hit that like button and subscribe for more mind-bending science. And let us know in the comments, which of these theories do you think is most likely to be true? Remember, in the words of the great Niels Bohr, if quantum mechanics hasn't profoundly shocked you, you haven't understood it yet. Stay curious, stay weird, and we'll see you in the next dimension.